Hi everyone. We have learnt different sections within the standard or income taxes. What we would now like to do is talk about, let's say, a company which is making losses. All right, and somewhere it expects that in future there will be profits available. All right, so when that happens, how does it really work in a practical life? Okay, let's think about it like this. There is a company which starts its operations and makes a loss, and continues to make a loss up to year 6, and after that it starts making a bit of a profit. All right, now you would be seeing these numbers very commonly in case of a startup culture. All right, initially they spend a lot of money and all they want to do is make a lot of losses, and you would see that the losses are 500,000, it goes to 800,000, 1.2 million, 1.8 million, and now it starts declining, and somewhere in the year 7 and onward they start making profits. Okay, so what exactly happens on the tax position? That's what we want to kind of talk about very briefly. Okay, so I know as a company, if I'm making losses, I'm not supposed to pay taxes on that. Okay, so up to year 6 there is no question of a tax, but in the year 7, should I be paying taxes? That's the first question while I'm making a profit. Now, normally the tax jurisdictions allow a carry forward of earlier losses. There are losses which are allowed to be carried forward and adjusted against these profits. So effectively what I'm trying to say is that even though there is a profit of 200,000 in year 7, right, what we see is cumulatively you are still at a loss. In a way, if my tax authorities allow a carry forward of, let's say, of losses for 8 years, right? Now what does it imply? It means that this 500,000 can be carried forward up to the 9th year profits. All right, this 800,000 can be carried forward for up to year 10, and that is what is the whole calculation that we have got. So even if I'm making a profit of 200,000 in the year 7, 6 years ago in the year 1 itself I had a loss of 500,000, which means that I can offset that earlier loss against this profit, right? So in the year 7, when I have a 200,000 profit, I already have existing set of losses, which gives me what? That gives me a deduction in future, right? This loss results in a deduction in future, and that is where the concept of DTA starts coming in, right? In a way, what I'm trying to say is that if I'm sitting at the end of year 1 where I have a loss of 500,000, I'm allowed to create a DTA on this difference of 200,000 because this is a deductible temporary difference due to the carry forward of the losses that I have got. My loss is just 8 years, 6 years, hence 6 years from the end of year 1, I've started making profit. I would completely charge it against that particular profit. Okay, so what do I do? So let's say, for the sake of argument, I have a tax rate of 20%. Okay, that simply means if I'm anticipating a profit of 200,000 in the year 7, I will be eligible to get a deduction of 20% on that profit, right? Which means that at the end of year 1, I'm doing my entry as a DTA, which is 200,000 into 20%, which makes it 40,000. Credit a tax expense. I'm allowed to create that asset of 40,000 in my books, right? Now, the challenges are more interesting than this calculation. The first challenge obviously is that I need to have a clarity at the end of year one whether there are such profits available in future, right? I'm talking about 200,000, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, etc. Effectively, what does it mean? That if I'm looking at this year one DTA, which is 40,000, 20% of this value, in the next year, I have another 1 million profit. And by the way, against that 1 million, I still have a carry forward. Okay? As you see the cumulative numbers, I still have a carry forward, which means that on this 1 million further, I will be able to take another 20% as a tax advantage, which means that at the end of year two, my DTA should be equal to 1.2 million into 20%, that makes it 240,000 now, right? And you keep on doing it until those offsetting would be over, right? So the question is that, do I need to be absolutely sure about this profit? Well, the answer is no, we don't know. We don't know at the end of year one whether we will have a profit at the end of year 7, 8, 9, 10, as the case may be. What is more important? The standard uses a term called as probable. It uses a term referred to as probable, which says what? It says that if it is probable that taxable profits will be available, if it is probable that taxable profits will be available, then only you are allowed to create a deferred tax asset at the end of, let's say, year 1, 2, and so on and so forth. So what is probable now? Well, the standard on income taxes again does not define the word probable. It comes from the standard on provisions, and that is where the word probable means the likelihood of more than 50%. Okay, so if I'm sitting at the end of year one, I certainly need to calculate these many numbers, give my projections, or measure those future cash flows and profits for that matter, and assess whether I'm going to make profits in future or not, right? And you start observing this, you start assessing that at the end of course, each year, because it can happen at the end of year one, I'm calculating this kind of a projection. My year two numbers could be very, very different from that of year one, and that's so very common under a startup for sure, right? There could be an instance of a COVID, which of course changed these numbers significantly. Okay, so think about it like this. Let's say I created my year one entry where I said a DTA of 40,000. But in the second year, the COVID instance took place, and now I have a reason to believe that for the next 9 years, there would be all losses. Which means that my year one losses and year two losses, I don't have anything as a profit in the future. For the next 8 years from the end of year two, I don't have any profits available against which I can claim a deduction. That means what? My initial assessment of that 40,000 of a DTA has to be reversed, right? And that is where we start doing those accounting transactions, okay? And that is what is the reference given by the paragraph 4, or paragraph 34, my apologies, of the standard, which says that with respect to unused tax losses or tax credits, it mentions that a deferred tax asset shall be recognized for the carry forward of unused tax losses or credits to the extent that it is probable 50%, more than 50%. It is probable that future taxable profits will be available against which these unused tax losses or credits can be utilized, right? That is how you start interpreting, that's how you start understanding the language of the standard, and of course do your accounting. Good so far? Thank you very much.